Weber and Cache counties, along with poll locations statewide. Talked to someone who said they had a family member wait for 3 or 4 hours in St. George. Many voters waiting outside in near freezing temperatures tonight.
All right, so here we go. We're hoping to see some local results, hopefully during this half hour, as soon as all the votes have been counted in the state. We have team coverage for you tonight of the lines, the delays, and some of the top races here in the state of Utah. One of the lengthiest waits we saw tonight, a voting center in Provo.
Hundreds waiting for several to cast their ballot there. Jamie McGriff starts us off with what some voters and polling managers had to say about tonight's process. Jamie, a lot of people wondering why people chose to wait in line instead of dropping off their ballot.
It's been incredibly busy, and literally as we are talking right now, this line is moving. So we're going to go ahead and follow some of the folks who are walking in right now. The last 3 people here at this particular site, they have been waiting for what, almost 3 hours?
We got here right at 8 o'clock, so 2 hours so far.
2 hours, okay.
About 2 hours. People earlier, about 3.
Okay, and for you, as far as waiting, the last person you are.
Yeah, I'm the very last one in line. Got here like 30 seconds too late, but the cop was like, come on.
Okay, secret is out. But for you, you didn't have to wait outside. That has to be a little bit of a relief. Or did you wait outside?
We were outside for 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, they were just trying to get everybody inside to get out of the cold.
Why did you wait until the last minute, it seems?
I was just busy with my day. I just got off work. It's like, I need to go vote. I need to go vote.
So now you are finally here, and we're gonna follow you as you walk in. One of the things that the poll workers have told me, and remember, this whole area that you see right here used to be filled with people, and this was just literally an hour or 2 ago. You couldn't walk this far, okay? And so the polling site right over here, as he is preparing to walk in, we're not going to follow him inside, but this is as far as we can go. But just back over to me now, just to let you know that the polling workers are telling me that they had to call in more people because of the sheer number of provisional voters who came in, those who had not registered to vote yet but wanted to register and also cast their ballot tonight. So that process takes 5 times longer than it would for a regular registered voter to come in and cast their ballot. This location is busy simply because it's so close to BYU, and that's one of the reasons why we saw so many people waiting in line tonight. Reporting in Provo, Jamie McGriff, KUTV 2 News.
Too many voters, always a good problem to have, but definitely a crazy night across the state. Another area experiencing those long wait times in West Valley City tonight. Yeah,
Ariel Harrison live at the City Hall there, where lines have been clearing up within the last hour. Are people still voting there, Ariel?
Well, Mark, Heidi, it's quite a different scene than when I checked in last. Here behind me, you can see that they've gotten in the past hour everyone through, the votes cast, all these kiosks. They were in high use today, but they've cleared them all out. But if you take a look at this video we got earlier, this is what it looked like then, with the line snaking through the City Hall building here at West Valley out into the cold. Despite the wait, though, voters seemed determined to cast their ballots. Many who I'm told they waited for over an hour and some for up to 2. I asked a voter about the long wait times and lines. But does this concern you at all?
You know, in all honesty, it doesn't concern me because these people know this is an important year, more so than ever, because we're going to go one direction or the other. And so the important thing is that whatever circumstance they had in their life, that they've decided to step up and let their voices be heard, because that's the one thing that both candidates are saying is go vote and let the people choose who they want to lead their government.
Now, voters here did tell me that the poll workers were hard at work tonight and that they were so appreciative of their efforts to get their ballots counted and cast, even though they were waiting in line past that 8 o'clock time. And it's something I can attest to. I walked past a woman in the last just few minutes who said, I am eating for the first time today. She didn't even get a lunch break. It has been so busy here. But again, cleared out today at West Valley City. They got all their voters through. Reporting live, Ariel Harrison, KUTV 2 News.
All right, Ariel, thank you. More problems in Utah County tonight. This time it was in the Lehigh area.
We've been tracking these issues throughout the state. We continue that team coverage with Kristen McPeak. And Kristen, you were there covering the Alpine School District earlier this evening and the split there until we heard about the long lines. How are things looking now? I'm guessing a lot of those lines are there because people are voting on that split.
Exactly, and it's actually very quiet here now. Most of the line has gone through. You can see inside here behind me, not a lot of people inside, but this line was wrapped around the building. Take a look at some of this footage that we got earlier. People standing out in the freezing cold snow. Voters here will be voting on the future of the Alpine School District. Across Utah County, there are 2 propositions that address this. So there's Proposition 11, if passed, would create a central district. Proposition 14, if passed, would create a western school district. So I spoke with the director of communications of the Alpine School District, and he says that they are ready for whatever outcome happens tonight.
One of the things we'll be doing as we learn what the results are of the propositions is we'll be notifying all of our teachers, support staff, counselors, administrators as to what next steps would be or what the outcome of the propositions would be, so that they know that that we support them.
And so the district and the board has not taken a position on the propositions as a whole. Just some notes there. Some board members have expressed their opinions on the subject. Now, if this did pass, a new board will be in effect on November of 2027. Live in Lehigh, Krista McPeak, KUTV 2 News.
All right, Kristen, thank you. Team coverage continues, turning now to the race for Utah's governor. Spencer Cox seeking re-election, taking on Democrat Brian King tonight.
At this hour, early results are showing 0 votes at this point. We're still waiting. A wild card in this race as well, with a ride-in. Brian Malahy at the governor's mansion right now for the Cox campaign watch party, and everybody's watching and waiting.
That was so dramatic. I really liked it. I thought we were going to hear something, but no, I understand. We know where we are tonight, right? We know the situation. Back there is where we hoped the governor would be speaking to us by now. His campaign spokesman came out and said, yes, around 10 o'clock we'll have something to say, but we're still waiting for the vote tallies to come in, the partial results, and that's not happening, so no governor yet. He's still inside the mansion here tonight. The lights are burning brightly on South Temple, but you know what? This has been a situation that I cannot remember in covering elections for decades in the state of Utah, that we have had to wait this long. We want to ask the governor about that. Where did this break down? We've heard some people talk about that tonight, about where the problem might be. They're not blaming the lieutenant governor, by the way, at least not here. But we'd like to ask about that. Was there an issue in the lieutenant governor's office, in county clerk's offices around the state, in particular county clerk's offices? Those are some of the questions. When the governor comes out, we'll ask him about that, the state of his race. We expect that he'll have something to say about that, and we'll be waiting. We're on Governor Watch here at the governor's mansion. Live in downtown Salt Lake, Brian Malahy, KUTV 2 News.
We're adding to the tension and excitement of election night. Brian, thank you. Democratic challenger Brian King also hosting a watch party tonight where they're waiting as well.
David Ochoa live outside the Hotel Monaco, just down the street here from our studios in downtown Salt Lake City. David, what's the mood there tonight?
Well, people are really anxious to learn the results as well here. And we were just told a couple of minutes ago that King is getting ready to speak, so we're all just waiting here just to see if that happened. But I did get to talk to him just a little bit ago, just about how he felt, if he was confident tonight, and how he felt running in such a Republican-dominated state. And this is what he had to say.
We're confident that we did everything we could to get our message out to as many Utahns as possible. We've had a great response to that message of working as hard as we can for regular middle-class Utahns, as trying to bring competition to Utah state government. Right now, one party has controlled Utah state government for 40 years. We can do better. We will do better if we have the best of differing ideas, competing ideas, fall out for the benefit of Utahns, as opposed to just having one party bring only their ideas to the table. So we've been talking about that a lot, and I think Utahns understand it, and they accept it, and they say that's what we want for the better of the state of Utah.
So again, we're just waiting for King to take the podium up here and go and speak. And we are also waiting for results. A lot of people have come up to me and asked me if I've heard anything. But again, long lines as we've gone through. It's taking a long time, but everyone's here is anxious, and so we're just going to wait and see to what happens. But for right now, reporting live, David Ochoa, KUTV 2 News.
All right, David, thank you. As Brian King saying there, the exchange of ideas makes us all stronger. Utah's newest member of Congress, elected just last year, Representative Celeste Malloy, in a battle to keep her spot.
And again, we'd like to have some numbers for you, but they'll be coming. Liv Kelleher, though, continues our live team coverage from Representative Malloy's watch party that's located in Cedar City. Liv?
Yeah, it seems like the story of the night. We're also anxious here, waiting for those results to come in. We were first told 8:30 and then 9:30, and now they're predicting after 10 o'clock. So we will be here and we'll be waiting for those results with the Malloy campaign. That's in part due to the long lines throughout this district. I was just over at one of the polling places, one of 3 in the county, and the lines when the ballots closed were about 100 people long, and earlier in the day the wait about 4 hours. That's a long time for people to wait, but it seems like Malloy is confident about her prospects of winning here tonight. She was endorsed by former President Donald Trump, and she supports traditional conservative values. She's pro-life, she's pro-Second Amendment, and she's pro-religious freedom. Like I said, we'll be here with the Malloy campaign, and we're hoping to chat with her after those results come in and ask her, what's next after this election. Live in Cedar City, Liv Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
Liv, thank you. Also, she's an SU grad, so nice to be back at home, I'm sure, where she graduated. We're going to take a look at how the election is shaping across the rest of the country.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of a picture of how this is going to go tonight. Our Jim Spiewak looking into this all night long for us, breaking down the results. And Jim, some interesting things just in the past 45 minutes.
So the AP has called this race, the Senate race here in Utah. We're going to go around the country in about 90 seconds, so we're going to do this quickly, so bear with me here. Representative John Curtis will make the switch from the House over to the Senate again, according to the AP. He has put out a statement within the last few minutes saying that my agenda is your agenda, unity is needed. He's going to commit to represent every Utahn, and he wants to make D.C. more like Utah. He says that's the vision for his 6-year term as he enters the United States Senate. So let's go ahead and show you how the Senate is breaking down right now. According to the Associated Press, this just in over the last few minutes, now 51 Republicans, they are now flipping the Senate, taking control of the United States Senate. I just checked that about 2 minutes ago. It said 50 Republicans. So now, within just the last few minutes, we are learning that the Republicans will flip the United States Senate. As for the House, this is probably going to take a couple days to break down. You got to get to 218 to win the majority. Right now, Republicans are sitting at 177. Let's take a look at where the Electoral College is right now. Former President Trump is at 230. Kamala Harris is at 209. Take a look at the popular vote. More than 61 million votes for Trump to 57.5 million for Kamala Harris. Swing states still in play. Wisconsin has not called yet. Michigan is not called yet. Pennsylvania is not called yet. Georgia is not called yet. Arizona is not called yet. Neither is Nevada. Those are huge, huge swing states. The only one that the Associated Press has called is North Carolina. That goes to former President Donald Trump. So again, the Electoral College, as we stand here in the 10 o'clock hour, 2:30 to 2:10.
All right, Jim, thank you. For more live election results, both at the state and the national level, you can head to our website. We're keeping tabs of it there, KUTV.com.
We know a lot of you are looking and waiting to see what happens with a couple of Utah's amendments to the state constitution that are on the ballot. Amendment B would increase the limit of annual distributions from the state school fund from 4% up to 5%. Also, Amendment C would change the Utah Constitution to ensure that every county will elect a sheriff to serve a 4-year term. Again, no numbers in. We're hoping those will come out in the next few minutes.
We do have some breaking news to report tonight. We understand that 5 people were killed in a plane crash on board a flight that was headed to Provo, Utah. CBS reports it happened at an airport in Mesa, Arizona this afternoon. Federal officials say the plane crashed and then slid through a fence before crashing into a car outside the airport. It's not clear what led to the crash or if anybody in the car was hurt. As we gather more information, and we'll look for updates on our website. We'll post them at KUTV.com.
We have a lot more election coverage still ahead here on 2 News at 10. After the break, former Congressman Ben McAdams and State House member Tyler Clancy joining us on set to break down the results as they start to come in. Welcome back to what is shaping up to be an unusual election night here in Utah. We continue to cover the issues of all of our polling locations with the long lines, and that means we still don't have results.
And we got a few guests with us, joined now by former Congressman and Salt Lake County Mayor Ben McAdams, Utah House Representative Tyler Clancy. Ben, I'm going to start with you. I caught you peeking at a monitor in the newsroom. I think you were looking for your name and trying to see how you were doing with the results coming in.
Yeah, well, my name is not on the ballot this year, and that is one of the best feelings ever, you know, to spend election day with my kids and at home and not feel the stress of the election. So, but, you know, kudos to the candidates who are putting their names on the line and doing so much to try and get in office. They've worked hard.
Absolutely. Representative Clancy, I think a lot of people at home are probably a little frustrated waiting for those numbers to come out. The state elections office made the decision not to release any of the results until the very last person had voted, and it appears that's probably happening about right now. Was this a good decision to wait so people could have their voices heard without any other noise, or was this a bad idea?
You know, I think if there's any takeaway from tonight, it's that there's incredible energy around this election. It's really, I'm excited to see those turnout numbers, but it sounds like from these lines that there's a lot of momentum. I think it's the right call. We were discussing it earlier that you don't want to be in line and then you get a ping on your phone and say the race is already decided and your vote doesn't count. So I think there'll definitely be lessons learned from this cycle, but I'm excited to break down these results as well.
Let's talk about Brian King for a moment. Last time we had a Democratic governor, I think, was Matheson from 77 to 85, I think.
Yeah.
He was a formidable candidate, but he was outspent 9 times by Governor Cox. It's hard to get the Democrats entrenched into Utah politics, but it's nice to have, as Heidi said earlier, differing voices and differing opinions at the table.
Yeah, I mean, Brian King is a credible candidate. He served as the House Minority Leader for many years. He's an accomplished attorney. So, you know, this was a great candidate for the Democrats to put forward. He ran a scrappy campaign, you know, really fought hard to get his name out there and did some really creative things that turned people's head and got some attention. So I think, you know, kudos to Brian for having run a race on a pretty shoestring budget and still getting noticed and getting his message out there.
We're going to be armchair quarterbacking in the days and weeks to come, but I would like to talk a little bit about how many people are in line. We've had mail-in ballots here in the state of Utah for a lot of years now, but we're seeing, Representative Clancy, let's start with you first on this. We're seeing a lot of people who are choosing to show up and vote in person. Is that something we need to think about and consider as we're going into each election?
Well, certainly I think we're going to have a lot of lessons to learn after this election, especially with exit polls, with demographic information that we can extrapolate from these results. That's going to be a big issue of how long and when can we do this. But, you know, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I went and voted in person, say, with my wife in Provo, and there is something powerful about being there in person, seeing your neighbors around you, seeing the people from all different walks of life, and you know, physically putting your ballot in that drop box. Pretty cool.
That's how we used to do it in the old days, right? All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Stick around. We might come back to you, but we appreciate your insights, and thanks for waiting up with us tonight through all this process.
Great to be with you.
Awesome. Thanks.
The pomp and circumstance, certainly
Yes.
fun unless you're waiting outside in the cold. We're watching some of those numbers that are starting to come in right now. They're dripping in.
Yeah, I want to get back to Jim Spiewak. He's tracking the very latest results that are coming in nationally. Jim, what do you got for us?
All right, Mark and Heidi, we're going to actually stay locally here. So we know that the AP has called Representative John Curtis for his seat in the United States Senate, and he won every county except for Salt Lake and Summit counties. In Salt Lake County, it was rather competitive, 138,000 to 149,000 votes. And then if we take a look at the governor's race, this is statewide right here. Governor Spencer Cox with 276,000 votes to 202,000. This is with 34% of the precincts across the state reporting, as these numbers are just now starting to funnel in. If you take a look at what Brian King was able to win Salt Lake County and again Summit counties, pretty competitive in Summit County, and then 140,000 votes in Salt Lake County to 132,000 votes in Salt Lake County. Let's go ahead and let's see here. If we could take a look at one more time, the Electoral College, still taking a look at some of these swing states right here. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, still not called. Georgia, still not called. Arizona and Nevada, still not called. So in terms of the Electoral College, still 230 to 210, former President Trump over Vice President Kamala Harris.